What's happening, folks? We're back with another Roxette reaction, and we're returning to Room Service 2001. And thank you to all the Roxers once again for being part of my journey through this awesome duo's material. Though it was interesting, indeed, shout out to Michaela not only for supporting me over on Patreon and providing so much music, but I did actually see that you made a donation in the last 12 hours or something, so big thank you to you as well. But yeah, she mentioned that a phrase I think I said in relation to the cover image of this album, Room Service 2001, that it's something like they're right next to each other but they seem to be doing different things. She said that was reflective of their professional relationship at this point in Roxette's career, which I saw as enlightening, and maybe indeed part of the design of the album cover might have been speaking to that. Now maybe it's just coincidence, but yes, or perhaps it's reflective of the situation without necessarily being intentional. In any case, I found that very enlightening, and ultimately the second tune on the album is The Center of the Heart. So heart is often a way to express feeling and emotions, and thus the center of the heart would be the core, the motor, or the main element at the middle of everything around it. So yeah, it sounds like something that is right at the core of whatever the emotional feeling, whatever the situation between people, or emotionally in terms of someone's perception. So in that regard, I would imagine it to be foundational, central in terms of someone's psycho-emotional condition. Of course, it might be some visual reference or function on multiple levels. I'll see what I can catch on a first listen. This is Roxette. The tune is The Center of the Heart, and it's from their 2001 album, Room Service.
What am I gonna do when I get a little excited, a little ingrained to me? What am I gonna say when I find the center of my heart is a suburb to the brain?
Silent is the Grave.
You wear them so well, those innocent eyes. You're putting on a wonderful disguise. I want you so bad, I'm pushing my luck. It feels like being hit by a truck. This is no place special. Don't know why I came.
what was the... At first I thought it was Silent as the Grave. It's like something to the brain, but I like that word is still eluding me. So, okay, like, it's another tune, as I've talked about, where I'm always keen... Or that's not the right structure. It's another tune where we hear both Marie and Per on vocals, which I always enjoy, and which is a perfect vehicle for hearing multiple perspectives, for hearing both sides of an emotional story. And it seems like that's what's happening here. On Marie's character's side, it sounds like she's very into this person. She's been, hit by a truck or something like that in terms of the emotional situation she's in, but it sounds like he's more reserved. He's, hesitant, or is not reciprocating in kind, and she's almost trying to lure him out or get him to open up. And then do we hear that phrase that I couldn't quite hear clearly, followed, like the idea of the heart and something to the brain? Do we hear it from both sides, which would be interesting? But yeah, it's like we definitely heard it from Per's point of view. So yeah, I don't quite know what he's thinking, based in part because I couldn't hear that phrase clearly. But yeah, it sounds like they're like dancing around a connection. It feels like it's not like a harmonious interaction, a calm and comfortable relationship, but something where there's some unknowns maybe on both sides, and there's a lack of not only clarity but resolution in terms of like what's happening in practice. Sonically, I really enjoy it because, like, number one, it does have multiple electronic elements, a really electronic bass line, and especially into the sections where it goes into Per's vocal, there's like this acidy, I don't think it's actually a 303, but this really like acid-like synth fluctuation. There's definitely some string synths in there, maybe real strings, but those like had some nice flourishes that were very enjoyable to my ears. But there's also like a pop style chorus where, they're singing like na-nas, I think it was, like melodic vocals, not actually lyrical vocals. And that feels like more throwback, if you will, Roxette. So like I can hear the evolution and the stylings that we got a bit of going through Have a Nice Day, but also a bit of a more classic or vintage Roxette, especially in the chorus. And I enjoy the way it seems to jump back and forth between like a synth rock sound and also a bit more of like an electronic dance type of sound. So yeah, the bass line had some buzz to it. There was that like acid-like synth work. There was these like big build-ups, with a almost like a snare roll, which is, very electronic dance, but also again a bit of a like synth rock pop sound too. So yeah, Per's vocals seem to have like that effect on them where it sounds like it's filtered or like it's, pulled into the background. So yeah, ultimately a very dynamic tune. It kept evolving. It feels quintessentially Roxette, even as it is different, at least in part, from their, like, I suppose the sound for which they are more known. Looking forward to hearing. Again, I've seen some mixed opinions about this album already, which I get it. Like, again, the evolution of a group will sometimes take unexpected turns, or they might shift into a new idiom or try some new stylings where if you're familiar with what they've become known for, it might take a while to digest that. Maybe in some cases you like hearing them explore, maybe in other cases it feels like a misstep. So I get like different rockers will have different interpretations of their larger journey, of particular albums along the way. But yeah, ultimately, people will not be surprised. I try to take songs and albums on their own terms, and even if over time I may develop preferences for one over the other in terms of songs and albums, I ultimately am musically omnivorous, so I'm always, open to hearing a band or, an artist try things that are different and varied along the course of their journey, which is a long way to say I've enjoyed what I've heard so far after 2 songs, and I am keen to hear more from the album, so let me know what you think. Thank you again to Phil for stepping in with the Roxette material that I don't have in physical form, as well as to Michaela and Shell and Jeebus and all others who've contributed to the Roxette and Roxette adjacent journey in terms of like physical or digital material. I will let you know I will let you know. Let me know what you think about this tune, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.